Everybody wants to see Team USA versus Japan. That's what everybody was looking forward to. Ohtani versus Judge, and we're not going to see it. We're not. It's not going to happen. And we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. I'm sure a lot of people have their thoughts to what happens to Japan. It happens. When you're facing off talented teams and baseball, professional baseball players, and maybe Venezuela is not as good as Japan. Well, obviously, they're not with the star power that Japan has brought to the major leagues. And the same thing goes to Italy. Italy was never expected to beat Team USA in the final game to advance into the semis and the quarterfinals. Nobody thought Italy was going to beat Team USA, and they went up 8-0. And then USA had to play catch-up, and finally, at the end of the game, they couldn't put up the 8 runs to tie the game, and the United States lost in 9 innings. And a lot of people were blaming Mark DeRosa on not knowing why or explaining why he didn't play 3 of his best players because he thought they're automatically going to make it to the quarters. Now, you look at a coach and a manager or whatever. You want to look at executives. You want to look at pointing fingers. That's fine. And I've been out there to speak my piece about Mark DeRosa. I think Mark DeRosa is a hell of a coach, hell of a manager. I think he's as good as anybody right now in the majors. You're going to make mistakes. People make mistakes. You wouldn't be human if you weren't. And he made a mistake. He didn't hide behind it. He didn't throw anybody under the bus. And you like that when you hear that from a manager that you respect. And a guy that has been chosen by Team USA Baseball to lead this team to the promised land. And that's to win the whole thing. And then going into Sunday night, United States beating Canada on Friday, knocking off a Canadian team that fought their way, just like Mexico did. It wasn't easy. It hasn't been easy for Team USA. As good as the lineup is for Team USA, as good as the pitching, when you look at the star power, Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes is one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in baseball. Before this tournament start, they had Tarek Skubal. This is a good roster, but baseball is not won by good rosters. How many great teams in the past didn't win a World Series? How many great teams have not won Stanley Cups? How many great teams have not won the Lombardi Trophy? You go into these championships and you're competing in these games, these round-robin games, and you don't know how it's going to work. That's why the Olympics is so incredibly fun to watch. Why it was so incredibly fun to watch Team USA knock off of Canada, not only in the men's, but in the women's. When you watch this competition, you look forward to seeing some of the great players, seeing Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Tatis, all these guys. It's been fun to watch, and this is great for baseball. This shouldn't be an all-star game. Every single year, baseball should put something, not the WBC, but put something together where some of the best teams, some of the best players in their countries play in a round-robin tournament. That would be fun to watch. Look what happened with the NHL last year. Look how that worked for Gary Bettman. Gary Bettman looked like a genius. And it changed everything for the Olympics because Team USA lost against Team Canada in the finals. Connor McDavid scores the game-winning goal, and Team USA smelled blood. They went into the Olympics looking at it completely different. We need to go out there. We need to win a gold medal. We haven't won it in 46 years. And that goes for Team USA Baseball. This is not the dream team. I don't want to hear it about the 92 Olympic basketball team with Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Karl Malone, John Stockton, David Robinson, Christian Laettner.
Favorites.
I had to add that one. It's different. And I wrote a story this weekend about it. And I didn't call them the dream team. I kind of compare them to the redeem team. The team that had to come back. The team that before they added Kobe Bryant to LeBron James and those superstars to come back after losing and only bringing home a bronze medal. Do you remember that? With Stephon Marbury and Allen Iverson and Tim Duncan on that roster. Dwight Howard. They failed. Carmelo Anthony. They failed to win a gold medal. Kobe Bryant put it on his shoulders to go into the Olympics and help Team USA bring home gold. Wasn't LeBron. Wasn't Dwayne Wade. They were there. Wasn't Chris Bosh. It was Kobe Bryant. May he rest in peace. Aaron Judge is 34 years old. Mark DeRosa was recruiting players. I don't know if anybody's heard the Logan story. You know the Logan story? Speedy, you know the Logan story?
I don't.
Now, there are a lot of country fans out there. So Mark DeRosa, Pat McAfee, and all of them, they're all friends. They're all good friends with one another. And they went, well, Mark DeRosa was not on the bus, but he was at the concert. He had his guys go on the same bus as Logan. Logan had no interest in pitching for Team USA. Maybe because of San Francisco and getting his big contract. I don't know what it was, but he had no interest. Pat McAfee and a bunch of, I guess, United States execs and friends, they were on that bus, and they pitched Logan to come and pitch for Team USA baseball for the WBC. It took a lot. It took a lot of push and drive, and he's one of the big important reasons why Team USA is going to the championship this year. He has been as good as any pitcher for Team USA. He has been clutch throughout this tournament. But Aaron Judge is 34 years old. He did not have to play for Team USA. He did not have to be the captain of this team. He just fell in the playoffs against the Blue Jays. The year before, he lost in the World Series against the Dodgers. He's got another probably 4 good years left in the majors to win his first World Series. And maybe his only World Series. Think about this. He did not have to play for Team USA. And by the way, he's not only the heart and soul of this team, he has done things in this tournament that are going to be remembered forever. And I don't know if anybody watched the game. I did. That throw when Tatis was trying to go from second to third and how he picked him off at third base. Everybody was talking about, well, Aaron Judge is a great player. 5-tool, I don't know. I don't know if he's a 5-tool player. Aaron Judge showed you guys, or everybody, why not only is he a 5-tool player, he's the best player in the world. The best player in the world. Everybody's going to say Shohei Ohtani, oh, he's a freak, a unicorn, whatever they call him. I don't care what everybody's a unicorn in professional sports now. Everybody gives him that compliment.
You know who's not a unicorn? Travis Hunter.
That's for sure. But what Aaron Judge did in the third inning will be remembered. If Team USA brings home the gold, they win this tournament, as they call themselves the Dream Team, or I call them the Redeem Team. That play is going to be remembered more than anything. Because if Tatis gets to third base, he probably scores, and maybe the game is completely different. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Aaron Judge is the best player in the world. It's the smallest and the littlest things that happen in a game that stands out the biggest. This is a 6'8", 280-pound powerhouse hitter that when he came into the league, people didn't think he was going to hit for average. Struck out a lot in AAA and AA. He didn't get into the majors until late 24, 25 years old. A lot of people thought, hey, he reminds me of a little bit better of a Dunn type of player. Well, he is a different player. He might go down as one of the greatest Yankees to ever play the game. That's crazy. When you talk about Derek Jeter, who has been the standout, the face of New York Yankees baseball for over 20 years, and to name Aaron Judge the captain of this team has not only driven this organization. Everybody says, well, what has he won? He hasn't won a championship. That has a lot to do with the executives over there, Brian Cashman, Hal Steinbrenner opening up his pockets like his father did. That is not Aaron Judge's fault. Aaron Judge goes out there every single year. He gives you almost 50 home runs. He has been as consistent as any player in baseball in the last 4 years. Even when he hurt his toe, he came back, and he played at a high level. That says a lot about who he is as a player, as a leader, and you want to follow a man like that. And when you have guys like Gunnar Henderson and Roman Anthony and Paul Skenes, the future of United States baseball, that, ladies and gentlemen, stands out from the rest. I don't want to hear about, hey, you know what? The United States isn't killing everybody. This team is unbelievable. They should be getting 15 to 16 or 17 runs every single game. It doesn't matter if it's the Dominican Republic or Japan. We have our best players on the field. When you're playing a round robin and you look at these games and the competition that's out there, it's not as easy as it seems. And as far as I'm concerned, for all you fans out there that have their own thoughts or afterthoughts to who Aaron Judge is, and you don't want to give this guy any respect for what he has done for baseball, shame on you. Shame on you. Because this man has been nothing but a good Samaritan for the game of baseball. He doesn't go out there and throw anybody on the bus. He didn't throw Mark DeRosa under the bus after the mistakes that he made against Team Italy. He hasn't done any of that. He stuck up for Mark DeRosa. He stuck up for Aaron Boone over the last couple of years. Why do you think Aaron Boone still has a job for the New York Yankees? This man has been everything to United States baseball. And Yankee fans, I say this to all the Giant fans, when Eli Manning was going to step down, when he was going to walk away from New York Giants football, I told the Giant fans, I said, you don't realize how important he is until he's gone. As a Jet fan, we don't know anything about it. I mean, we're looking at Geno Smith again. Hopefully, a second time around will be better. Justin Fields was traded. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show. The fact here is, the reason why I bring this up, and everybody looks at the score and they look at the 2-1 and, United States got lucky. That wasn't a strike. Who cares? First of all, the bases were cleared. There was nobody on base, even if he walked them. What does that mean? There was 2 outs. Is that the reason why the Dominican Republic lost against Team USA in 9 innings? That's not the reason why. It's not. If the Dominican Republic wanted to win the game, they had to put up runs. And they couldn't. They couldn't hit against Paul Skenes. They had 1 home run. They had 1 big hit against Paul Skenes. And that's why Paul Skenes is the best pitcher. That's why he's going to be the highest paid pitcher in baseball in the next 5 to 6 years. The guy's going to make almost $1 billion. The man is so impressive. And he doesn't have more than 3 or 4 pitches. He's got like 5 pitches. And he's unhittable. And when you think about the back end of baseball, America's pastime, and everybody says, well, Japan has conquered baseball over the last couple of years. And the Dominican Republic have the biggest stars. When you have guys like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who was unbelievable in the playoffs last year. Unbelievable. Juan Soto has been so good in the playoffs. One of the best. You have 2 players that good in a big, important game and have done it in big, important games and failed to do it against United States baseball. You're going to blame that on anybody. You're going to blame that on Team USA or the umpire because they missed a strike? Are you going to tell me that the umpire is American and that's why that happened? It was very impressive. And I if I was a United States player and I was lucky to get into the quarterfinals, because they were lucky. Italy really, really saved the United States from absolute smack around. Because if the United States don't get into the quarterfinals, they probably be the laughing stock of Major League Baseball all season long. And I don't care what anybody says. Bryce Harper says, it's baseball. This happens. I don't want to hear it because Bryce Harper knows, Paul Skenes knows, Aaron Judge knows that United States baseball is not at the top level it's been over the last 50, 60 years. It's not. Countries are getting close. Successful superstar players are coming from all different parts of the world. And the Dominican Republic and Japan are only 2 places that there are development of great talent. Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Italy, Mexico. It's growing, just like basketball, just like football, just like hockey. And when you look at United States baseball now, if they can come out winning this tournament, and it's not going to be easy. I don't care if it's Venezuela or it's Italy. And you want Italy. If you're an American, you want Italy. You want them because of what Italy did, almost knocking out the United States out of this tournament. I know for a fact Aaron Judge and this team wants to see Italy in the finals because they want to put a spanking on them. And that's what you want to see. Those are stories. What do you think Team USA wanted to do in the Olympics when the Olympics started? They wanted to play Team Canada in the finals and knock them off. They're the powerhouse. They're known as the best in the world. And unbeatable. That roster, everybody said, was unbeatable. We all know what happened in the 1980s. That was the last time Team USA won a gold medal in hockey, knocking off the Soviet Union. Miracle. Remember that? This isn't like that. Nobody's comparing them to the Dream Team, Miracle, or even the Olympic team that happened this last couple of weeks. Nobody's going to compare it to Jack Hughes' golden goal, as you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you, Fish. The fact here right now is this is the year of Team USA. This is where we take over sports again. It's been a big problem. I'm sorry. Over the last couple of years, we've been dominant in basketball. There's no question. But it's getting close. Look at the top 3 players right now in the NBA. They're not United States players. They're just not. Actually, the top 4 players are not United States players. You could argue maybe the top 5 aren't United States players. It's crazy. It's growing. But what hockey brings and baseball has brought, and what sports is starting to drive now here in the United States, this is what, as a United States, USA standout, a person that for my whole life respected the red, white, and blue. And I know everybody sits here and they're probably saying, oh, this is somebody that's just reading off a storyline and stuff like that. That's not me. If you listen to the show, I don't beat around the bush. Well, sometimes I do, if you know what I mean. Sometimes. But I'm not beating around the bush here. I'm a fan of professional sports. I'm a fan of college sports. I'm a fan of high school sports. And when you see some of the best players in the world compete against one another and then win tournaments or win series or games when people counted you out. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of people that don't believe the United States is the dominant force of professional baseball anymore. How do I know this? I put a survey up on my social media the other day, and I asked strictly, who do you think is the most dominant countries in professional baseball? And you know what the 2 dominant countries over the United States was? The Dominican Republic and Japan. With all the talent the United States have brought over the last 20 years, the superstars of the majors, besides Aaron Judge, they've all washed away. Nobody looks, Paul Skenes is becoming a superstar, but he's still young. But if you look at the top 10 players right now in the majors, I would tell you right now, 7 of them are not American players. 7 of them. And that's why when you look at the game and you look at the difference of what this game and what this tournament means to the United States and USA baseball, it's more than anybody believes it should be and what it could be.